Hello, board.
Hello, Treasurer. I would like to open the meeting of the Torch Lake Township Board for our workshop on the budget. It's 3:05. If you'll notice, our supervisor is still absent. So I would like to make a motion to have the treasurer conduct the meeting. May I have a second?
I'll second.
And shall we have a discussion? Okay, then let's call for a vote. All those in favor of the treasurer conducting the meeting, say aye.
Aye.
Any nays? No. All right, Ms. Schultz, take it over.
Public comment, is there any public comment? Seeing none, let's just jump right into the budgets. I'm sure everybody had a copy over the weekend I printed out and had a time to look it over and kind of dive right in. First one in the budget is general fund, then we'll have fire and then the ambulance. Before we start that, I did put some extra sheets in your mailboxes. I don't know if you received them all. I put the most current projections of yesterday. The word out there of the state treasury that was there said there could be updates to this. So I don't know, they didn't indicate up or down or whatever, but you'll be able to see. I put those in your, and Bob, I put a copy in his mailbox too, Bob.
Are we higher or lower? Just us?
I don't know what
We
it
didn't
was from before.
Compare, okay.
I did get the BSNA updates for the upcoming two, and I made copies for the clerk, so when she gets the invoices, she won't have any questions on how to post them.
Thank you.
The only thing I'd like to mention that we haven't gotten yet, and I did reach out to Amy Genema. Her contract ends at the end of our budget time, her 3-year contract. So I asked her to give us the next 3-year. So that's not going to reflect in our workshop here because that need to be updated. So when we get to that point there, then we can talk about that. So, and then the contract for Larry Wooten, our cleaning service is still intact. It's still through 2025, so that's okay. BSNA updates I'll have, and I can go through those with you. I think that's it for whatever I presented extra to you. It does say on our revenue sharing, Kathy, it's a 2.5 increase.
Okay,
So, but I don't know if that's not going to be,
may not stay.
no, don't put that in any minutes.
No,
or
I'm
anything.
done.
So,
I just was curious.
so how do we want to proceed with this, board? Do you want me to kind of go through what I've got on the first page and then we can all add in extra what you might have then?
Sure.
Okay.
Which page are you on? You on
I'm on
Bob's
general,
draft?
I'm in general fund, the revenues, page 1. I'm not sure if they're numbered. I guess they are, right? I don't know if they're in the corner.
They all say one though.
Okay. General
Mine
Fund
does.
101, revenues. So look for the revenues item. I don't have, obviously, yet, the L4029s to get our numbers for our tax amount. So that will be forthcoming once Amy has all that in the system and board review and so forth. So I think with Bob's comments here, he's got a number in there. We'll kind of go with the flow of that for now until we get more of a final grasp on it. And then we'll scoot down delinquent tax, we don't know. Tax penalties, he's got a higher number in there, 570. I crossed mine off, so I don't know. if
Sharon,
that's-
can I just back up just a moment? Up on, am I reading this? I just want to know if I'm reading it correctly. In the upper left-hand corner, it says that with the 0.9719 mils, we are going to roughly we're going to collect No, we're going to collect,
We don't have the L4029 yet, Alan.
no, I know that,
Okay.
but just assuming plus or minus, whatever that comes up to. But we have $337,000 and our budget's going to be 322. So when I say we're roughly, what this shows me is that we're going to be $15,000 ahead at the end of that fiscal year on this money. That makes sense?
Yes, on his
Okay.
proposed ballot.
And it
his
could go either
proposed
way
budget.
because when we adjust it to Board of Review.
Right.
Um,
Of course, we won't know. what to-
Okay, that's right. Just an aside, has the county begun talking about a rollback at all yet? Because
No.
we're all going to be facing this, I'm looking, this now is up 0.97, it's reducing in terms of what we can
I
fund.
haven't heard, Alan.
Nothing said, okay, all right, keep going.
Of course, we won't know delinquent tax yet. That's quite early for that. That's estimated in there. Tax penalty and interest, I crossed that off and put 300. So if Bob can put 300 in line 101, 101, 445, 000. And then PTAF, we won't know again until we get the numbers. License and permits, we got that. I left that. The other federal grants, I just crossed that off because we don't know that what we took in this far in other federal grants was, it was an HAVA election security grant. It was a reimbursement, very small, minimal dollars in there. So normally we don't ever receive monies for anything in there. So I just crossed it off and left it 0 under 528,000. I'm only going to give you the changes that I've done.
We did get money for the grants for the park?
No, election, a machine of some kind.
State grants,
Kathy's
parks.
laptop.
Okay, am I in the wrong place?
Yeah.
Okay, keep going, sorry.
It was under other federal grants line item, Alan, and it was a very small amount that we collected. It was for monies I think Kathy turned in for her laptop.
I'm, all right, I'm reading revenue sharing. I need
Yeah,
to get a
does anybody
marker on
need
here. All right,
rulers?
yeah, I see it.
Okay,
656?
yes.
Yeah.
I would just say put 0 in there.
Yep, I did.
Yep,
Fees for service. I put $100 in there.
Instead of 2,000?
Yeah,
Okay.
we didn't even have anything budgeted before, so. School collection fee, I just rounded it up to 5,800. That's what we collected this year. Instead of 5,790, I just put 5,800. Bob, in 609,000, school tax collection fee, 5,800. And then I'll just kind of scoot down. He's got in yellow highlighted and big red interest earned. His notes is Sharon to calculate 50% of this year. I am going to put 10,000 in there according to his notes. If that needs to be changed, we can do that.
Are we good with the cemetery plots or lot sales?
Yeah, I'm only doing changes. I'm leaving everything as is.
Okay.
And then I go down to tax account interest. He's got $980 in there. That should be $5,000.
Whoa.
So Bob, on 665,020 tax account interest, I only post at the end of the year, so that you can see it's zeros in there currently, and I move all the money at one time instead of moving it every single month. So it's all moved at the end, right before the fiscal year ends, I move it all into general fund. Rents and royalties, 66800. 0. I just made that $1,000. That's just basically associations that come in and rent the building. We don't get a lot of renters that pay type of thing. The next item, 675, there's not a caption name under there. It's really donations and it's 0. So if you wanted to write donations next to that, I put 0 because we don't get donations. Reimbursements, I put 0. The next line item. And then we need to go down to Kathy's. I'm sure Kathy had worked on the school election reimbursements and presidential primary reimbursements, Kathy?
Not, not for the primary, I haven't had it yet.
Well, do you have an estimated
I do
numbers?
not. I do not, Jen. Everything has changed
We
with
gotta put
the
it in.
added 9 days before the election that we will be open for early voting. So that's going to be a
Well,
new
that's
number.
under elections. That's not under this.
School election, no. You should have gotten a reimbursement then.
No, this
The
is
only-
for the budget for next year,
Oh,
Kathy.
for next year. Well, let's see, there'll be a reimbursement in May.
Do you have a
It's
number
the
to put
only
in
one I
here?
know of. I would think you could go with what we have there.
It's 0 right now. I mean, you got to give us a number.
Oh, I'm looking at the other half. Yeah, I would say 1,000.
1,000 in primary or school reimbursement?
Yes. That's a guesstimate.
1,000 you're putting?
Because we collected more than that when the school election this year.
It says 1,200.
1,200 we have.
So do you know anything about the presidential primary? We don't get, we'll get reimbursed for certain things.
Certain things, yes. The state's supposed to be paying for a lot of things, but I don't know how the reimbursement will come through. Because some of it, I'm sure there's going to be a form or an application that needs to be paid out. But with all this 9 days before, I already have mentioned, we have a second tabulator, a
elections.
second laptop. We have all kinds of new things that have to do with that. But I don't have a total on that yet either, so,
But you'll work on that then.
oh, yes.
I went to the Lansing yesterday at State Capitol Conference and they had Elections Bureau there and she was dived in deeply. So there will be a lot of new forms. They're up and running on a new site that came online yesterday at 5:00 for voters that want to look at their information. They can go online and do it themselves rather than call the clerks. And there's a lot of information on that new site that they just
This is the
came on.
Bureau, as you were referring
Yes.
to?
Yeah, and I can get the board that, we can get that email address out. I didn't bring it in here with me for the public. And then the forms, there's going to be a lot of forms. There's a lot of things that the state didn't even know what they were required to do. So
This
they
is
had to
true.
do a lot of updates
This is
themselves. So
true.
anyway, Kathy, you can work on those two and get those two to Bob. I have no corrections or changes in the second part there for Parks and Rec. I'm sure they worked on that. I don't see anything out of line there. So I do see where the revenue is going to be up on the boat launch ramp and contracts for the marinas. So in his yellow has indicated that the park is going to be increasing their fees. I don't know what their fees increases are going to be, other than they're increasing their fees according to his notes, Bob's notes.
Well, mine, excuse me. Mine's not in color, so which one is increasing? The marine
Yes,
contract?
yes.
The two top ones.
Both of the top.
Didn't we just raise that last year?
Yeah,
raised
we
it-
did, and they didn't,
They
most of
freaked
them,
out.
no, most of them didn't blink an eye.
Oh, well, one guy, he called me and wasn't very happy, but,
Well,
okay,
I don't know what it's being raised to. I don't
Okay.
know.
all right.
And again, on this first page, the only thing I can mention is the L42 will be coming and revenue sharing is being revised. So that was on the state treasury information yesterday.
I thought they were taking off the kayak launch fee. Have they not decided that officially?
They
I
was
don't
talking about
know.
eliminating that whole thing, weren't they?
The kayak
Yeah.
fee, yeah.
Or did the whole launch?
And
No
where to
kayak.
launch and everything.
Right.
I don't know how far they are with that.
I
But
don't know.
Pavilion rentals are the same.
So, anybody else have any concerns or
Park
questions on any of the
funds.
revenue? That's Kinda
Interest
not-
and donations.
in your realm of being able to look at what comes in there. So I'm just looking. So currently, if you were to look under revenue, state revenue sharing, Bob's got in there 132, 344. That's pretty close to the sheet that I got here. So that's why I just left it in here. Because that could change a little, tweak it up or down either. So that's why I left it there. Any questions? Do you have any concerns that you want to see changes? So hopefully Bob is hearing this okay.
Let me ask just one question. The money that we put, I think it was for the ambulance that we got for COVID, that COVID money, am I saying it right?
That was several years ago.
No, the
COVID
one
money.
we used for
Have
these-
it.
What money
Have
was
it.
that then? Oh, I'm sorry, what money was that we used for the ambulance? Didn't that come from COVID?
The ARPA money?
Yeah.
That's the word.
The ARPA money was designated by the board to go towards the down payment on the fire truck.
Oh, okay, now.
And that will be dispersed, it has to be dispersed this year. It's a final year.
But that will not be paid back to anybody. I mean, that's
No,
theirs. Got
no.
it. Okay, that's all
No.
I need to know.
No, that will be, that's a fire truck deposit. So let's move on to the next page. And this starts at general fund expenditures, the 101, 101. Does anybody have any changes that they'd like to point out, or do you want me to just go what I've got, look at that? You want to go down by the item quickly, or do you want to?
Well, Bob used a number to do the increases, right? His multiplier is that,
Some multipliers on there, but he's got some questions on some of this.
okay,
So if I just go down, Bob's estimated, well, we've already done the wages and the meeting per diem, clerical assistant.
right, those were all.
The clerical assistant, he's got notes in here, constant contact, clerical support. And then that's also Jenny doing park grants and so forth. That's all part of that clerical assistant, should be all in there. He doesn't have the park grants in there, but that should be part of the park grants that she's been working on. The wages of the scanning, we've got an assumption to current run date. I'm not sure where the scanning is going to be done. I don't think it's ready yet. Pension, social security, healthcare savings line item, that doesn't change. So 101, 101, 715, 020, healthcare savings. That shouldn't have any increase reflex to it. It should still be 2,400.
Okay,
That doesn't change. There's no index to change that. Term, office supplies. The audit services. I just checked the bid. The contract service for this year is 6,200. He's got 65, so we'll leave it at 65 just in case we have a little extra work that they need to do for something other than excise, other than our regular normal. So that's fine there. But our annual contract will be 62, so 65 is perfect. He's got the attorney in there. So,
Is that the 15,000? Is that what it's supposed to be?
yes, that's what,
So he's coming down on that. Reducing it from 25.
and then the BSNA
Lower
maintenance,
use of Todd, rates to go up.
BSNA maintenance, 101, 101, 803, 010. I gave the new updated contracts for BSNA, I gave Kathy your copy too. So the 101, 101 portion should be exactly 1920, 1,920 instead of the 1890. That way it'll come out zero at the end if it's all posted, right? Then I'm just going to scroll down to telephone charges. We just got a note up here. First of all, 101, 101, 805, other services and charges. I think that's where he's at. No, membership dues. He's got Kathy, please provide a list of our memberships. And that is line item 809,000. Well, that's MTA. That's our MTA, Michigan Townships Association. And we get the premiere so that anybody can watch and review Zoom meetings and training. We get the better package that all of our members, planning, ZBA, board, anybody can get into all these sessions and classes. So that's, if Bob's listening, then I provided that list instead of Kathy. It's MTA. Going down just one to the phone charges.
Well, 10,000 on that was about, should be close
Yes,
on that membership.
yes.
Okay, all right.
We haven't got it. MTA charges the same across the board for every township across the state, and it's based on SEV, or no, taxable value. It's based on taxable value, so that's how the charges are created through MTA, and then any à la carte type of things we get. Telephone charges are a little low there. I put 1,400 in there.
I have some comments later about telephone charges, but not for general fund. But I'm reminding myself.
That's about all I've got. He's got a question on 851-010 information technology support. He's got information. I believe this is Michael Strange. It is.
It is, but it might not be only Michael.
Yes, it is. It's been in there so far, pretty much.
If we call VC3, that's tech support, would it not also go in there?
Well, unless we had the one contract. Is that contract in there for that? I don't know what our contract is for VC3. Did you look up any contracts, Kathy?
I didn't, no.
I don't have the contract for VC3, so I
Okay.
don't know what that contract
I
is
don't know.
and when it expires.
I don't know what we finally came up with. That one went back and forth.
Could you make a note on that then,
I am.
VC3?
I am.
So that's my only comments. I do have a comment
I-
here.
I-
Scanning project,
I
scanning
have a
project.
question about the webpage and where we stand. Because we've been waiting to bring this new,
We're almost there.
okay. So is,
Pictures are on the website. We've been
is-
looking at it. We've been tweaking it, updating it. Seems like every time we get changes, we've had to put people on and take people off.
okay, is the proposed number appropriate then for the new,
We've already paid them.
Company.
They're just tweaking it, and then we'll have our annual update
who's,
things.
who
Where
are?
are they located?
It's the same one that's been doing the park, Chris.
That's local?
I don't know if he's local. I think he's local.
Okay.
Our website. Now, I do have a note here, scanning project. Where is that at? At the bottom of my page, I wrote that. Oh,
Michael is still doing some of our webpage things. He's doing minutes for sure.
He's-
And notices and things, I think.
that's for the constant contact.
803-040.
Yeah. 803. Okay. I have. Okay. I have a note at the bottom of my page. It says scanning project contract, $5,000. So I don't know if this 5250 is just his increases or whatever. And again, I don't have that contract. So if Kathy can get that contract out for that company and see when the expires and if there's any changes in cost in there. So I'm going to put a note here and put Kathy contract. So that's my only note on that one. Because I noticed this year was 5,000 and last year was 5,000. So I don't know how long of a contract that is. So if you could find that out, I don't have those contracts. Any board have any questions or changes other than what I had said for myself?
Both of these are too small, but I'm going to mention them anyways. We have 0 for mileage and parking, and we have a little over $1,000 for conferences. If you go to a conference, does the conference line item pay for your mileage now?
Well, let's see, where's that at?
It's near the bottom. Mileage is $860, and conference is right at the very bottom, near the very bottom, $956.
Oh, yeah, mileage should be in there.
Something,
So what do you want to put in there? 500?
yes. Well, that's just, yeah, put it in, yes.
Okay, so 101, 101, 860, 000, mileage parking, $500.
Yeah.
Anything else?
And I noticed neither Jason and I put money in for conferences, but they haven't, but I recommend that if they start these conferences in Gaylord, the MTA, they're great. They're evening, they're good. They often give you dinner.
They haven't been in Gaylord for quite a while because
Yeah, but
they're doing it other than Gaylord now,
Yeah.
so.
but those are worth going to.
The UP Summit is every other year. I don't know, those are a shorter conference. Those are a 2-dayer, but those are good too. Anything else, board?
Is 130 enough for repairs, maintenance? What's that in regards to 101, 930?
Yeah, I looked that up and it's just kind of an oddball thing because most of it goes under the maintenance underneath it.
Okay.
And I don't know, that line item's been there in existence and you can't take it out because there's been some kind of activity that Kathy will find something to stick in there.
Gotcha.
It's a prorated item too, so when it's something like the generator for the building.
No,
and Fire EMS and
not this one, Kathy.
he's talking about CSB.
No, he's talking
repairs.
about above there.
I thought he said CSB.
I said the one above there, and Sharon brought up that it mostly goes into the CSB.
Yeah. That one, this one here, I looked it up too because it was so small. It was just, there was a couple oddball things in there that Kathy threw in there. So there was no rhyme or reason. I don't even know what that's, it's kind of doubling up on things.
Okay.
But that's a
But you
good,
know what, then we get a break, then we have a pipe break in the middle of the floor, like we had that one year. What a mess. It was actually the wall between here and there, between us and EMS.
that would
I mean,
be
it's
under,
just like-
that would be under CSB maintenance. I did look up that $120 under maintenance repair. I don't even know what that was. That was something very influential. So any other changes there? I kind of, the next one is Supervisor, I did not touch anything there. He did his budget. Clerk, any changes there? I did not go through the clerk's budget. Speak or whoever
Well-
holds your
Let's
peace.
talk about the clerk.
Did you get a chance to review it?
I didn't. I assume the wages, I know that's the new number for wages. Deputy, I assume, yeah, he's still doing deputy 5 hours a week with whatever the new rate is. And so far, that's 5 hours a week is working out because Cheryl has another job. And so she doesn't
We don't
get
need
here for very
detail.
often, for very long. So I've been working with my newest deputy about 5 hours a week. So I don't see a need to change that right now.
Only changes. Anything on here you
Right.
see for changes?
So you're the clerical assistant, is that it? He's got treasurer.
Do you have any changes along there?
I'm
or-
asking the clerical assistant, 703010. Who is that? What is
You can
that
see the notes.
position?
Yeah,
Notes there.
The
That's payroll.
treasurer is 5,000 of that?
Or if there's any clerical that you need to have, it's all included in there.
Okay. Okay,
You all set? All right, board review, I see no changes that need to be looked at in unless any of the board has any comments there. All right. We can go to the next page, treasurer. I did ask Bob for some changes, and he didn't know what my changes would be until we got together here. So my changes, well, let's see, Kathy. There should be a change on yours if it's on mine. Let me go back to the clerk, sorry. I didn't even look at yours because I figured you would have it all together. The changes in the clerks is healthcare savings. That should not be 2,480, Kathy. That should be $2,400.
that's a set number. I
That's a
know.
set number. It's a fixed number.
24. Yep.
So I found your correction there.
Yeah, tell me where you're at on that one. I missed it.
Kathy, it'll be the supervisor. You know what? Let's go back to the supervisor.
Okay,
2. So all that healthcare savings is a fixed number. So healthcare savings and the supervisor, a 101,171,715,020, healthcare savings should be 2,400. And that will reflect on the clerk and the treasurer. So those are fixed numbers.
What about the other guys too? The fire chief?
I think,
and-
well, we haven't got to that far, Kathy.
Okay. So you're just talking about these three?
Yeah, and I think we looked at
Don't jump ahead, Kathy.
the healthcare savings. I talked about already, I think on 101, the same number. I have 2,400. I think I already mentioned that prior. That's 2,400 also. It's 1,200 times 2. So going down then to the clerk or treasurer, go back to treasurer. That fixed number and that count number, healthcare savings is 2,400. And then office supplies, printing the tax bills, the mail has gone up, everything has gone up, postage, receipts, bills. So he's got 5 in there. I put it up to 5,500.
You had 6 last year.
Yep, so he reduced it by 1,000 and I'm right at the border here. So I put in there 5,500,
Not back to 6.
not back to 6, no. BSNA maintenance, according to the contract that I just got here, The clerk should, or the treasurer should be exactly,
Treasurer gets.
$1,603, 1,603. And that will cover cash receipting and then tax.net. So it's 1,603 instead of 1,580. And then going down, I increased conference and education. Everything goes up. So I told him I wanted that increase, but he did not know my number at the time. So I put that to 1,500. And so, any questions on that? Anywhere along there? And the next one is assessor. That 2,500 is exact. And the pension should be exactly, that's a fixed number too, because that fixed number of 2,500 doesn't change. So instead of 170, it should be 150. It's 1,250 times 12. And that's the only, and the other thing I can say is assessor is, I do not have, again, I mentioned earlier in the beginning of, is their contract. So that 28,320 will expire at the end of our fiscal year now. So we'll have to get a new number for that. So if, I know Bob's listening, so that number of 2830 will be changed. So other than that, on the assessors, I don't have any other concerns. And then we go down to elections. I'm sure Kathy's all ready for that.
Oh, yes, already.
Hey, I got a question.
Yeah,
Why is the BS&A maintenance for treasurer
oh,
1,600 and then the BS&A maintenance for assessors almost 20 grand?
yeah, no, there's,
No, 1,880.
Assessors is
Is that just
845.
different programs or
oh,
something?
no, that's wrong. What is that? BSNA
Assessor is
maintenance.
845.
Yeah, the assessor should be $845. Thank you, Jason.
I
$845.
thought that was a lot of money.
Yeah, you're right. I did not see that.
Revenue.
No wonder it's in the red by 18,000.
Give me that number again, the new number.
BSNA maintenance under assessor,
Got it?
845.
$845. Thank you,
Oh,
Jason. That was a
that's
good catch.
savings. Yes, that's a good catch.
Okay, moving on, elections. Kathy to provide,
Right
so
page. I have no idea.
you want to get with Bob on this then, instead of holding us up?
Yes,
Oh.
that would be a good idea.
Okay, I'm going to put a board, Kathy has agreed to work with Bob on the elections.
Where is it though? I can't find the page, hold on.
Kathy, how many elections did you have in '23?
None,
None.
no,
Okay, oh,
one
Yes, you
in, no,
did.
one in November.
one.
And
Central Lake
That's a school
Schools.
election. Oh, No, that was
2024,
a school. What was it?
yeah. it was
Central Lake
It
School.
was Central Lake School.
Okay.
And in 2024, I thought there were only going to be 3. We all did. And now it's not an ISD anymore.
Yes, it is.
What do they call it? It's-
Shar-M ISD. Or are you talking about them down
I'm
there?
talking about the up
North?
north one.
Shar-M
Okay,
Shar-M.
well,
ISD.
they're going to have an election in May. So there are actually 4 elections this year,
I think you could just go back to their previous
a couple of
election
years ago.
budget and just almost come up, add a percentage to it and go from there.
Yeah, the only problem is the wages, because the wages are going to be way higher
Okay,
because of that 9-day.
okay. No,
um,
that's right too. Okay.
But I know how many people are going to work, and I know how many hours they're each going to work, and I know what their rate is, just a matter
That's
of,
we
9
wish you
days. How
have it
many people will
already
be on
here, then.
duty?
pardon?
In the 9 days, how many people will be on duty each day?
3, a minimum of 3.
3?
And that's all that I'm going to use,
Okay.
is 3. If they had any issue or problem, I'm going to be there anyway, so
Okay,
It was kind of interesting because I was at the Capitol, they had, again, like I said, the State Election Bureau was there, and the questions arose about that 9 day, how many, the state estimates one-third, 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 one-third early voting of, not the entire number of
Voters.
voters that we have, one-third of the normal count that we had at the last elections type of thing. One-third of that number, 9 days early, one-third mailing, and one-third in person. That's how the state is kind of calculating in their mind that this 9 days. So it's kind of interesting listening to their stats of how they're projecting it. So,
There's not going to be as many in-house people as there will be mail-in ballots or the 9 days. Because we've made it extremely easy for everyone to vote, which is what the whole idea was. So by mailing them an application to everyone, more people are returning those. They probably
but
never
you don't
voted
mail the
before.
application to everybody,
Um,
only if they request it.
we mailed to all the permanent
Right.
absentee voters, which is probably 99% of our voters are now on that permanent list.
I'm
But
not.
what I'm saying is, because we're mailing it out, more people are mailing it in, therefore we have a higher voting percentage.
Right.
And
I
I think it's going to be higher with the mail-in things rather than the in-house. Although a lot of people like to in-house vote because it's a social activity. They like to come and see all their friends who are also voting. They want the cookies, and
So when you say you mailed out to everyone, that's not true though.
we mailed out to almost everyone.
Oh, I'm not on that list. So
Well, you're
are you
not a
on that
permanent
list?
absentee voter or a
No,
permanent
no,
absentee
no.
ballot.
Nope, that's correct. So it's not everybody. So,
No. Okay, I stand corrected.
all right. We're moving on then. Kathy, you'll work with Bob on that.
I
And
can't even find my election page here, but
election page is on the bottom underneath the treasurer, the
there.
assessor,
Oh,
and then
right
elections
there.
is the
Got 'em.
next one.
Got them.
Okay, I guess we'll move on then. The next one is buildings and grounds.
I want to, can I go back to elections for a moment? Because you and I have had this conversation, and since we have the board, I'd like their input on it as well. We have a department that's the clerk. And the clerk, as Sharon has explained, has statutory duties that she must do by law. Then we also have an election cost center with a budget. So my thought was, if I have workers that are doing things having to do with the election, their wages should come from the election cost center. But Sharon believes that the election cost center should only be used for the actual election day. So the people that worked on election day,
not elections,
not,
9 days and all that,
yeah.
four elections.
So that means there's a higher tug on the clerk's budget if things that were going to go into elections are now going into clerk. Do you have a feeling about that? Do you understand what?
What does
we're
the auditor
saying?
say on that?
Hmm?
I don't know. But if Kathy, if you looked at the payroll, you know that they all went through elections. You
What-
verified the payroll this last time. They were all won their elections. So I don't know what you're,
I'm asking because you and I have had a conversation and we don't see eye to eye on it. And so I'm asking for the thoughts or the feelings from the other two members that are here.
Well, I
Do
would
they
call up
matter?
the auditor and ask him what would be the way to do that.
see on the,
And he must have that situation in other places.
That's probably a good idea.
on the payroll sheet, it said the inspectors. And those are, when I think of elections and inspectors, I think of election inspectors that are here working on the elections, the inspectors.
Like next
And then
week's
clerical
That's-
is something else to fold and stuff the envelopes. 'Cause
What about
that's,
like next week's training? How do you cover that?
Education
And out of your budget though?
out of
Out of the clerk's budget?
No, I do it out of the elections.
You do,
My thought
okay.
is to do it out of elections.
But
Okay.
your training should
Because
come out
they're
of you.
training to work an election. But would you say that that should come out of clerk?
Your training should come out of clerk.
The other people, all my workers.
Kathy, I haven't delved in. I don't know when they're going for training and what's going on. I don't know.
It doesn't matter when they're going. Okay,
Who pays for it is what you want to know.
yeah, I just want to make sure. But I think you're right, Alan, the auditors, where to start. So I will do that.
We all have statutory duties, and that was my concern, is she has a statutory duty, so she's got somebody in her office folding envelopes. That's her statutory duty. She can put that under clerical work, because I think of it as inspectors working the elections. So there's just a question there,
But
even
they're all
though,
called inspectors. That's their title.
right, so Kathy signed it off under elections, so they were all paid under elections, so.
Okay.
They're doing clerical work to getting ready for the election.
Correct. They're doing things having to do with elections, not having to do with expenditures or, which would be different.
Well, from, at the end of the day, at the end of the fiscal year, I want to think that if we asked how much did it cost us to have the general election in November, total, everything we had to do to prepare, that would be a number that in itself is a planning number. We can use that planning
I
number.
would agree. And probably 2020, to go back to that election would probably tell the tale also, because that was a very busy election.
It was,
Well,
yeah.
presidentials are always,
And that one was
primaries.
way busy. So anyway, trying to get ready for the next
well, you have a lot of,
person.
you know that the board had talked about when you needed help, you were supposed to let us know, but we haven't heard anything that you would want us to help you
I
do.
don't know how to
So,
have you help me.
okay,
Much of it's in the computer and I'm the one that accesses the computer. So that's why girls are folding envelopes and doing those.
do you have a
things.
backup for QB?
The only other person that's certified would be Brian. And Brian obviously is not available, so
Do you have thoughts of, I mean, it's not part of the budget, but we can discuss whatever. Okay. Anything else? We're moving on. Building and grounds. I didn't make any changes because I don't know. Kathy should be able to help more with the cost of the heat and electric and all that sort of stuff. I don't know. Did you have time to look at that, all that?
no. No,
Doesn't Bob just usually skip over anything under 5,000?
Yeah, now he's got in here sharing to provide. Now janitorial services is Larry. And I have his contract goes out till 2025.
So the number stays the same?
So, where's his contract? Excuse me, I'm one-handed here. What do we pay him monthly, Kathy?
it is it 12,500?
Here it is.
At 1,200. 1250 is what I'm trying to say.
No,
It's not
1350.
1350, okay,
So.
times 12.
Rain stopping briefly. Oh, go ahead, okay.
What rain?
1620, so that is accurate, Bob. 1620 is accurate because his contract is up in 2025.
Okay,
1620 or 16,200?
16,200.
Okay.
I'm sorry, did I say 20? Yeah, I did say 20.
So we're good there.
2 more years, yeah, that's right.
We're good on the wages.
Why in the original budget, our current budget, we budgeted about the same amount of money at the top, I'm in wages on building and grounds, right at the very top. We had 12,860, and yet we've only, oh no, it works. Okay, fine, I'm done. Okay, that's a good number. Got it.
And did that buildings and grounds person get an increase?
Yes, they all did,
Everybody
Kathy.
did, right?
Yep, it's got that all figured in there. Okay, let's move on to
1850.
cemetery.
Good.
And
I have one comment about the cemetery.
Me too.
Do you?
go ahead.
We had, having to do with Mr. Loy, who we gave permission to put his
Septic.
septic. It runs along the cemetery and then it goes beyond the fence. Well, when they installed the septic, they removed a portion of our fence and they drove through the cemetery to get to the work zone. The problem is, some people feel that they drove over their lots where there might be people buried. And and I can't say yes or no, so they wanted to know what we were gonna do about that for the future. And I talked to Bob about that, and if you look at the map, there's really no other way to get back to that spot. And so when he has to have his tank pumped,
Oh, come on now.
well, when he has to do that, he's gonna have to drive through the cemetery to get there.
In over plots?
Well, hopefully not. We have a driveway. And so what I'm asking is, I'd like to get signs. I don't know how many, signs everywhere, but to remind people to please stay on the gravel driveway only, or how do we say it, a positive or a negative? Please don't drive on the grass or stay on the driveway. And I think we need to put those kinds of signs several places around. It's stated in our ordinance not to drive anywhere other than the driveway, but people that have the ordinance are people that bought lots, and they're not the people there doing that at the time. So does it make sense to put some
But-
signs up to tell people?
Better yet. is-
How do you verify that they drove over those plots? I mean,
Tire tracks, I think they were down there watching. This conversation with this couple has gone on back and forth for quite a long time between both Mr. Cook and myself with this couple, and they keep saying, we want to know what you're going to do to prevent this from happening.
I think that's more of a board discussion than a budget discussion, Kathy.
Well, it's going to cost money to buy
some
signs.
signs.
Well,
I mean,
we can
what?
talk about budget on that
A
then.
couple $100 or something?
Kathy, we had, if you go into the cemetery and turn left and head toward the north, there's a corner marker there made out of split rail.
That was another one who complained because people were cutting that corner and driving over the corner of their lot where there is somebody buried.
No, I know, but what I'm saying is, Alan and I put that, I think Alan was, and I
Probably.
built that corner,
And it
and that kept him.
worked.
So what I'm saying is, just some simple corner markers
Corners.
like that will keep vehicles on the track, and you can I marked that based on where the marker was for that cemetery on that corner. And who's our guy in Central Lake?
He doesn't do that anymore.
Oh. 'cause
Jerry
he-
is not, Jerry hasn't worked at the cemetery for 2 years.
Okay, because there's markers there.
It's
that you
Alan
can dig up
Davidson.
and find
Alan.
them and find the corner.
Yeah.
So that
That's a
might
good
be
idea,
some
too.
construction,
And it would
simple,
it would look nice.
and it could look nice, yes.
And the other thing is I would like to have the board think about paying for a niche for cremains, something not decorative, but you can get marble and it has, let's say, 24 doors on it. And people, instead of buying land plots, buy a niche where they can put their cremains.
What do you want to do
You've
on
talked
money for
about
that?
For 5 years,
Yeah,
Kathy.
I know, and we still haven't done
Well,
it.
you haven't brought any information
We
to it.
need money.
Yeah, do you have any thoughts for costs? You need some,
I wish I did. Miscellaneous has $170 budgeted. Obviously, that's not gonna take care of signs and so forth. So what do you think?
I would say under repairs and maintenance,
you don't
Whichever.
have a repair and maintenance.
there's a repairs and maintenance. That's
Right above it.
maintenance.
Crank it up to $4,000. I'll put the signs in.
Just put repairs and maintenance up to $2,500 if you want.
All right, I'll buy it.
That's
25?
That seems like,
I
yeah,
think that's a good idea, Kathy.
Yeah.
That's
25.
101
that should be plenty.
567-930-000, maintenance and repairs. Instead of 1,090, make it 2,500.
Kathy, Sharon, if that is brand new construction, can we still put it under repairs and maintenance? Like if we put some fence corners kind of thing?
Yeah,
Okay.
that's maintenance.
What's the
Yeah, okay, it is for, yeah, it is in a way, yeah.
what's the contract services? Is that for people that dig the holes or is that,
Actually, I have software, cemetery software.
oh, you do?
Yep,
Okay.
everything, since 2008, most everything has been put
So
on the
did you reach
computer.
out to them for a contract update, Kathy?
No. I haven't done anything, Sharon, except elections.
Okay, so
So you
would
can
you make a
see.
note on that then? I'm
I-
gonna make a note. Bob can get contract for software from Kathy for budget.
Yep.
Okay, so that will, yeah, he's got Sharon Kathy to provide. It's not me. I don't do anything with that. I don't have it. So that's it for cemetery?
Looks like it.
All right.
Yep.
I had a question, but it's,
A non-statutory duty of the.
it's not a budget thing, so,
What?
for the cemetery.
Hmm?
It's not a budget
Hmm.
issue, so it's not important right now.
Ordinance enforcement.
Yes.
I didn't make any changes because
I don't understand that note.
which one?
Right there with ordinance enforcement, reduced by 50% after 3% increase. It's where this year we've already spent,
Well, we had stolen signs and so forth.
oh, I see the problem.
Yeah, we had stolen signs and we had to
Okay.
spend extra in there. So signs are more stable
Well, it's
now.
it's under the wages. We just did, we don't need up that much money is what it amounts to. We don't use up that much money.
No,
Okay, got it.
Reduced
see.
by 50%
Gotcha.
his wages.
right.
Yeah, he had 13,000 for last year, but they only needed 7 or 6.
Okay, the cell phone did get a budget, which is good, because that's one of the ones that no money was budgeted for, but that line was being charged because he does have a cell phone. that he
Now,
uses.
he didn't have the cell phone when the
He
budget
hasn't
was
always
done.
had one,
Is
right?
that enough money, $260?
It's $49 a month.
It's 500 a year, 600 a year.
So that needs to be changed
Yep.
because he got this phone halfway through the budget year time type,
Of
or,
course, it's only during the summer, right?
no, he has that cell phone on him all the time.
Oh, okay, this is for Bob. All right.
No,
gotcha.
this is, yeah, Bob.
Yeah, Bob
Hawkins.
Hawkins.
Yep, all right.
So if we,
I'd
how
put
much is that bill,
600.
Kathy? $50?
$50 a month, yeah.
Okay, so that should be $600 in there.
Yep.
So under line item 101-301-850-000, phone cell, increase that to $600.
That's been bugging me. We didn't, we're going backward, aren't we? Never mind. The same thing comes up for fire and for EMS, so. But we're not on that yet.
So, he's got zero money in miscellaneous expenses on the signs on the roads. There's signs that get damaged sometimes. I'd like to see something in there.
Do we still have signs out being repaired? Our
That's,
Eastport signs, or is that different?
yeah, that's different. This is the road signs.
Is
street
it 520
signs.
is not
Doesn't he
enough?
have 520 in there?
There's 520 in there?
Says for roads, miscellaneous signs, 520.
That's expense. I'm looking under proposed. Oh, he's got,
He's got it there.
Increased.
oh, I thought that was a dollar sign. I'm sorry, it's my eyes trying to see that little thing, 520. I thought it was a dollar sign 20. I thought, what the
Oh.
heck, $20? Sorry, it's me. I see it now, clearer.
But increased due to stolen signs, only $20. Increase.
That's 520. We can just leave that there. If we need them, we need it. If we don't, that's fine. Okay, street signs, Kathy?
Streetlights, we're probably good. We have a lot of streetlights. We have one out right now too, darn it.
Hey, I don't want to go backwards, but buildings and grounds miscellaneous. Bob is recommending us put 500 in there.
And the miscellaneous,
Yeah, 101-567-957-000.
put 500 in there?
Yes,
Which Bob? Who Bob?
Bob Cook.
He says 500.
We're communicating.
Hmm?
We've been communicating.
Oh, yeah?
He would like to see 500 in there.
Okay,
That was me coughing. Didn't sound good, did it?
can we move on to planning? Zoning
Can I ask,
and zoning
this
administrator.
ambulance medical insurance under street lighting, what is that about?
That's an odd number that's been there forever. It's zero. It can't come out because it's been there and it can't come out.
Is that so?
Yeah, it's a strange number. And we've tried to remove it year after year after year, thinking it will clear out after year. Well, because it hasn't been anything in there. It was an old number from,
Okay,
shouldn't even be listed because it's nothing, non-existent. And I can't change it and it's just you
so
can't
that's
change
in
it.
the BSNA program,
Yeah.
okay.
All right, planning, zoning, and zoning administration is the next set of numbers. I didn't make any serious changes anywhere. I thought,
Her rate's going up, but not yet.
her,
Is that what?
that's planning. We're on planning.
We're on planning, right?
Yeah, but she needs to go
For wages?
She's under
zoning
zoning
administrator at the
administrator.
bottom.
Sarah would be under zoning administrator, not planning.
Planning is the first set. That's our,
Okay.
Planning
all
is
of
you
our,
guys, use
Yep,
guys,
I know, I got you.
use guys.
you see anything there, Jason, that,
Oh, well, I guess as the contract services, 803-000. We got this letter saying that her rates are gonna go up.
but
Yes.
that's not here.
It'd be contract services, isn't it? 75 an hour?
Not under planning, dear.
Well,
Yeah.
No, it would be.
it's in there, Kathy.
That's it. No, it has to be.
Contract services, 36,675, assume
Yeah.
15 meetings at 75 an hour. if her rates are going up, do we need to increase that?
It's nearly going up, not double, but
From-
$50.
Yeah, from 75 to
hour.
105?
So I don't know when he got that notice from her, if he made the adjustment in here before the weekend. So I'm going to refer that to Bob
Okay.
with a note. I think he just wanted us to look at that letter that he sent out that is proposed, so the board is aware of it.
Okay.
That would add another roughly $3,700 to that 36,000, or, I'm sorry, yeah, 3,700 to 36,000, so it comes up to, it's over 40,000 now.
Unless he's already got it built in there to make that 36.
Oh, yeah, I don't know that, Hey, let's see.
Assume 15
Because-
meetings.
No, he
Because-
multiplied by $75, I multiplied by 150. I'm sorry, 125. It goes up to just almost 40,000.
Not 150, 105.
Bob says he'll relook at that.
Yeah.
I don't think 36 is it.
Other than the salary or the contract services, I don't see any issues
I don't
with
either.
the rest of it in there. And then the zoning, the ZBA.
See, on that one, he's got the $105 an hour in there for that one, for the ZBA. For contract services. I guess he'll figure that out.
6 meetings, 3 hours at 105. So that's the new rate.
That's the new rate, yeah. He got it for ZBA, but I don't see the new rate for planning.
We'll make a notation on that Bob can look at that again then.
Yeah, he just said he'll look at it again.
But other than contract services, I think everything else is
Yep.
okay.
Do we get any budget information from the chair people of those commissions?
No,
Do we ask them for any? No?
no. He talks to them, the chair, but if they have special requests, but if something's coming up, usually talks to Sarah on that.
Mm.
So on the other, the ZA assistant, that would be Jackie. He's got the weeks and the numbers and the figure in there,
Okay.
and the rest is,
Wait. Why did that get cut so much?
what?
Am I on the wrong one?
Because she's not putting that many hours in.
I guess. Cut in half.
Yeah, that's what,
Okay.
unless anyone's got any questions on that, we'll let Bob look at that too and see if there's any tweaking that needs to be done. But the other,
Zoning. Printing.
okay, let's move on.
Right. Let's keep it going.
Parks and Rec. He did have the park committee work on this, so,
We did, okay. So now here they're talking about kayak repair. Do you see that, Jason? Kayak launch work, $5,000. Jason,
I don't see it.
you need to get an estimate for us
Oh, I see it. Yeah, okay, on the yellow.
in the gray.
Oh, yeah, for the irrigation.
Can we remove this section? Probably can't.
Where are you looking at the kayak? You're looking under,
I'm looking in the gray,
It's in the, well,
under comments.
yellow or gray, far right. Day park buildings improvements, far right.
Sprinkler system.
you said 5,000, it's 15. I was looking for 5 constantly here.
Well, it says 5 in the writing.
Kayak launch work, 5,000. And
Oh,
sprinkler system.
That little tiny
10,000.
yellow, I'm looking at the columns for 5 here, that's why I couldn't find it.
Well, I assume that's his total then. Is for improvements, that's just improvements.
So Jason, did you do your homework there?
Yeah, I got my brother, we went and walked it. Good point. Sprinkler
And you'll get
kayak.
with Bob on that then?
Yep, sprinkler kayak.
Well, I know the park, and Jenny put a lot of these numbers in, so I am not going to go in and change what they've worked on. We do need a contract negotiation to be done.
With who? Who's got
Your
that?
gal,
For cleaning?
yes,
Okay. That's not his part.
but I think the park is probably working on a contract with her, so.
Office supplies.
Yeah, this
interesting.
section here that he's got noted, if we can remove in this section, I've tried removing that.
Yeah.
We'll try to remove it again, but it's one of those tweak things that it's in there and I will make a notation, maybe even be a snake and say,
Delete
hell.
it and you lose your whole system.
Make sure it's backed up, right?
All right, now to the fun stuff.
The library,
How did office supplies go from 80 to 780? Is that a boo-boo?
well, they had a lot of envelopes. Those envelopes were very expensive. And then that machine cost a lot of money that they weren't able to use this year or last year.
So they
We
use
got
out of
that
office.
card swipe so that people could do their boat launches with their
Credit card?
credit card.
Sure,
Well, it didn't work because there was no internet down there.
sure.
There is now.
And there is now, so we're paying for the internet. So I'm looking on here to see if that internet's on here. I'm not sure where they put that at. Jenny does know there's a monthly fee starting with the internet.
Already started, yeah.
So
What's that one?
we need internet on there, Bob, line item for internet. So
That's
if we can get with Jenny and
TrueStream.
it's with TrueStream, if we can get a line item in there for internet for the parks and put a budget number in there. I'm not sure if the park worked on that or not. Okay, the library, they are going out and buying a new building. Did you see that? In
Elk Rapids?
Elk Rapids?
Yeah, the old Traverse Bay Woolen.
So, she did send me the invoice for the 3,500 for this year, and she asked me a lot of comments on how many people from this community use the Elk Rapids Library, and I said, I don't know, and she wanted to know how we pay for the Central Lake, and I said, that's on our tax bill. So the people that are paying Central Lake taxes and Central Lake District Library, if they use the Elk Rapids, then the general fund is paying for the 3,500, so those people are double paying, so I didn't give her a number. I said we don't have very many people all through the winter, so I don't know how many would you be using the library.
We did that before, didn't we, Ellen? And we were surprised about how many people used the Elk Rapids
Well, that
Library.
was a long time ago. There's an internet out there now that is,
It was surprising. Are they staying in the same spot but with a new building?
No.
no,
That spot's worth something.
they're looking,
Yeah.
did they put a
They say they're
deposit on
gonna,
that?
that's just gonna be conference building, isn't it? Where they do conferences there now? The new library is gonna be over by the compactor road where the old Traverse Bay sewing building is. Yeah.
That was in the paper. I
Yeah.
don't know much more beyond that. So anyway, they did not request and we did not, so I'm gonna offer up the same amount of money.
Mhm. We just mailed that.
Now, Bob's got notes with Sharon and Kathy to update. I don't have the invoices for all the insurances, so I'm gonna refer to Kathy as having all those insurances.
Okay, so, but you don't want health.
No, I'm insurance and bonds for the insurance for the building and our
Yeah.
equipment and all that, so
Okay.
I'm not talking about health insurance.
No, I'm trying to think of which ones we do want.
We want the building, equipment, all the insurances we pay. So,
That's power plant, I think.
yep,
Bonds are different.
so I'm gonna make a note and say Kathy will get with Bob. Kathy will get with Bob on the insurances. As far as the capital outlay, the only thing that I have, let's see, we will be needing some more. I have a schedule for the computers. We rotate, so we will be needing 2 more computers this year as an update maintenance. So Bob, we will be putting some money in there for office computers. I will get with, well, it's VC3 now. It was IT right that, but I have the schedule of all the computers, so we'll need 2 more this year. I'll get with Bob on that, computers. VC3, I've never worked with the computers, but they should have our file for the last ones. If not, I've got it. As far as improvements, the only thing I'd like to see improved, and that would be under CSB improvements and upgrades,
Carpet.
is carpet. This carpet is, like, and
In here?
your offices are terrible. That department over there, holes and, carpet needs to be done. It hasn't done anything, and there's stains, and the offices in there are,
8, 9, 10, 23. It's 25 years old.
we haven't been in this building 25 years, have we?
2008. And it's 2023. No, I added instead of
Yeah.
subtracted. Still,
We've, Jason and Mary did all the painting. We had all those updates, and we've got pretty much updates. The only thing we need to do also is the lighting outside. Both Bob and I are struggling. Ted and I walked around with, I reached out to 5 different companies. Only one responded. They came out, walked around with Ted and I, all looked at every single light, and I cannot get them to come back, and they cannot give us a bid, and they have not got us a bid. And Bob,
What about our maintenance, that maintenance company that's always done so well for us? Who? Yeah, was it
I
Wyndham?
contacted them.
And they didn't?
I contacted 5 of our local people that we have, and the best thing to do is get electricians around too. So, Wyndham Miller, but the people came out was our, Ted, help me, temp control.
Temp control, yeah, well, it surprises me.
They came out and they walked all around, and they have not given us a bid yet, and Bob was going to contact the company that does his church over there with all the lighting, and I haven't heard back. Oh, okay. Okay.
Good.
'Cause
There you go.
that's been a long battle trying to get the lights because they're burned out there, some of them.
Well,
And it's
our-
dark
our-
at
Our
nighttime.
sign is not lit at night.
That's another one. We looked at that, but Alan Davidson said he's going to work on that one. He said he's done that one before, and that's on his project, but probably not through the winter here. I don't know. But I went through Bob Spencer to see who put that sign in, and he gave me the information in case we need to go back to the company that installed the sign. Then when I talked to Alan Davidson, he said he'll be able to do it. So,
Alan knows a lot about electricity, wiring.
but you have to take a whole bunch of stuff in there in order to get to it.
Now, what carpeting are you're doing, all the carpeting back there? All our
Their
carpeting
their
in there?
offices and stuff, this floor here and then there, carpeting.
Do we have a number for that?
No,
Ballpark?
no, that's my wish list. I don't have a
Oh,
number.
okay.
I'd have to pick
Well,
out
we
a
don't
carpet,
have
I'd have to have somebody come in here and look at
I'm
it,
not
but
the only one with
it's
all
not
the
been
numbers.
budgeted. I mean, that's one of the things I would like to see done. So,
And this is where my cemetery, what do you call it, would go, right?
your crisping. So do we want to look at replacing carpet? It's a maintenance thing for sure. It's never been done.
You said you
I have
liked that one enough
no
for
difficulty.
others if
Maybe,
they'll-
maybe half this year and half next year, if it gets real expensive.
Well, we can go out and check it out. We can go
Yeah.
out and check it out.
Mhm.
Because, yeah, prices will continue to go up. That's true. We're in that kind of an economy.
So
I think it's up to you. This is your second home. You want
it
to
is, it is. And well, your offices are horrible back there.
They're guys, they don't take care of anything back there.
You know, we got Ted, but
You don't
at
have
least we
your
got all
own
the painting
office,
done.
do
That
you?
was on my list to get done,
Yeah, when we did that, like
Do
what,
you have
3
your
years
own
ago?
office?
at least.
It's already
One for
been.
him, one for
Probably
you,
longer than
one
that
for
even.
EMS.
It was before I became trustee.
Yeah,
Just the
Yeah,
two of
time to
you.
paint it again.
that's why I wanted the floor. So anyway, I'm gonna put carpet. And if anyone has a place, I guess we'd have to go out for bids. So if anyone's got a particular place they like or use,
You said you liked that one in Elk Rapids.
went there. I like to stay local, but I want the best price too. They're not the
Local.
cheapest.
They weren't cheap.
No.
So
You get what you pay for, though.
Uh,
Yeah, not necessarily. No,
I mean, carpet's carpet. Anybody that's a carpet layer can lay carpet. Those guys just charge.
well, the fiber,
all right,
Would
let's
be
move
different.
on. I put a note on here, scope out bids.
Let me know what you find, because I need some new carpet too. At my house.
well, I don't like my guy anymore.
I'm going to check on the computer and I'm going to check on to see about carpet bid. Anything else in that capital outlay that anyone's got their
that-
comments on?
Is that supposed to be a certain number and above, like 5,000 and higher?
It's a capital outlay, yeah. There's not a certain number, but it's a
Oh, okay,
one top,
But it's a
one
big-
shop, yeah,
a big number. usually.
right.
Which one we starting with first? Fire or ambulance?
Okay, we'll move. Let's do fire, because they're here.
They're here. They've been here. We probably should have did that one first.
Yeah, I was ready with that one.
Probably should have, huh? Well, I kind of looked it over. I didn't make any notations or updates along the way. because I knew they were going to be here. If they had any questions, I did not sit down with you, either of you, to look at any of this. So if you can kind of help us along the way if we have questions. Again, tax collections will be, and then we have a new item, line item that's not in this budget.
Which one are you doing first? Fire?
Have you got another fire? I don't have a fire.
You want a
It's a
fire?
one pager.
Let me just make sure.
It's a 2 pages.
Well, it's the front and back.
Yeah, okay.
I printed it out for everybody, so.
No, I don't have it.
It says draft at the top,
No,
and I
don't.
put your name on it.
I've got ambulance, but I don't have fire.
Because I know I made copies. I put everybody's names on it. Do you
Yeah, I've
have,
got the one, my name is, it says ambulance, and then I got the general with it, but I did not.
look in your pile over there and see if it's got mixed up in there?
Not here. I'll do it again.
Here, you can do
Hang
mine.
on.
Did you get two, Kathy?
No,
Oh,
mine is not front and back. Mine's been around a while, since 113 apparently.
Let me run an extra. Is that extra? Okay, all right, thank you.
is that the
Okay,
whole
got it.
budget?
Yeah.
All right, so fire first. Per Kevin, per Kevin, per Kevin.
Okay. Tax collection again. Now, we are dividing this. I don't know whether Bob is going to leave it as tax collection and go from there. I don't know what kind of discussion you had, but we have, the 1.1 mil and then the 0.75 will be on the capital outlay type of, I've got it broken down with new numbers. But again, that's internal spreadsheet, but it does have an account number. So I guess let's go to the expenditures. Is there anything that jumps out of anything for anybody while we've got Kevin here? We've got wages that went up substantially. Is that anything we need to discuss? Or you want
It
to,
didn't, the projected number went down.
well, proposal is 76,
That says
Oh.
78,
78, I'm sorry.
and they were 78, 437.
Well, we got that per Kevin on there.
Okay. You're okay with 78?
Yeah, the raises are in here, right?
Yes, everything will be projected.
So none
Um,
of those need to be looked at. Insurance, do I need to look at insurance?
Well, insurance will come halfway through the year in June, so I don't know. I'm sure he's got projections in there for, I haven't heard of any, what the increases percentage will be. The healthcare savings plan, again, is one of those numbers that's fixed.
No, it's me.
Are
My
you,
nose is in that thing.
were you
Sorry.
sleeping? Were you sleeping?
So
Um,
the healthcare savings is a fixed number, so it should be 1,800. That's again, that 206, the 715,020. So that's a fixed number of 1,800. That's the MERS, healthcare savings. That's a fixed number. I do know there's going to be quite a few budget adjustments coming up that I got to work on.
Can I just back up, Sharon?
Yep.
we have an increase of 0.75 mil, which is going to give us that, I'm still looking at revenues. It's going to give us an additional $252,000. That's the number that I think we pay with the truck. Is that correct?
Yes, the 0.7,
Now, the
Five.
question I raise is that when this was projected out or proposed quite a while back now, there was a point at which the truck's paid for. And the question was, would we then consider dropping that 0.75 mil? And when I get concerned, it was like 5 or 6 years out. Somehow, I wish there was a note here on this budget that said in 2030, we take a look at that 0.75 mil to see if it should be reduced, because we'll forget that.
well,
And
Bob's
suddenly-
got that whole
and-
plan,
and
the proposal,
I have no
so,
problem thinking you'll find money to use it for, but, just to be responsible is what I'm trying to get at.
right. We talked about that when we decided on the millage last year.
Correct.
And so Bob had a comprehensive laid
Yes.
out plan, so we need that plan.
But it just, this would be a footnote
some
in the
file
budget,
or-
that's all. I would think, something to catch us in the future,
Absolutely,
because we'll forget it, and it's a lot of money.
it is. That fire department, I tell you.
And you may not need it, is what I'm getting at too. You may not need it. I mean, because values can, well, it's the other side of that too. It's why I raised the question about, we're only allowed to raise taxes, collect the amount of money that we collected last year, except for uncapped properties. I don't know. I'd like some kind of reference that we look at that. That's the Headley Amendment stuff.
Did we do that with the road? Didn't we have a notation with the road
We always have, yes.
about when it would end? No?
Sharon, do you know this Headley apply to special assessments?
No,
Okay, it won't apply. That's right, whereas it does to us.
it will apply to the voted, so it's the township. It didn't apply to the road this year either. It's still a 1 mil. Or so,
So you can collect more year after year than we can in terms of actual dollars.
well, there's a special assessment. So
That's
we
what
can
I'm
go
saying.
anywhere from 0 to 10 mils,
They're not subject to Headley.
correct.
So, okay.
It's
Yeah, we should look at that money
an
in the future
assessment. It's
somehow.
not even, they don't even consider it a tax. It's an assessment, so.
Yeah. We should, I would like it anyways. I'll talk to Bob about it.
Did part of your budget get cut off? Is it, because I only have like a half of a page.
There's 2 sides that we had.
No, I don't have a second side. So that's my problem. That's one of my problems.
Does it
One of
one
many.
start with telephone on the one side?
No, that's what I was looking for, is telephone, and that's the side I don't have. I have the beginning, but I
Right.
don't have the second half.
Well,
Yes, I do. Shut up, Kathy. I don't know. Tired.
You're good.
I'm all right. So, yeah, because I had questions about the telephone. You guys have telephone on the fire trucks like they do on the ambulances? Mhm.
no,
So how do you communicate with,
radios.
so you're,
Breaker.
Carrier pigeons.
huh? So you use radios to communicate with each firefighter? They all have a radio? Okay, so where would that show? I bet it show, well, that's radio repair. I'm asking because on ambulance, we have cell phones. Yes, we have a cell phone on each ambulance that they use to communicate with whom? That's all, not each other? Do they have radios also, EMS?
Yeah,
Okay. Okay,
Only for like the last 70 years, Kathy. I mean, come on.
is that long? Well, the reason I'm asking is because there's been no budget for cell phones
Correct,
We don't
for
have
the
them.
fire department. That's
correct.
because you don't have any.
That's
Correct.
correct.
We have personal cell phones, but they're used for our personal business. Do not recommend that you use them for fire service at this point in time,
Okay,
because then if we use them for the fire service, they're subject to FOIA requests.
Right.
Correct. That's why we eliminated
That's why
them.
we do not use them.
Absolutely.
Radio transmission only.
so what does it cost to have the radio, to operate the radio? Is
That's under our radio license, you have to be under contractual service.
contract, thank you.
We don't pay for,
I know we don't.
You have a frequency you don't pay for? County?
it's the county. It's the county 911 system.
Bell Rapids was zero, I had to pay, the license was on the wall.
Mhm. That's different.
That was a little bit.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Just trying to get it
That's something
clear.
I didn't see, ever see was a license. The radio.
Okay. So in terms of budgeting, there's no cost for using radios in terms of our budget.
You've never paid a bill on that, Kathy.
Let me ask the question.
I'm just saying.
You don't need to answer. I'm asking the chief.
If it's under $5,000, who cares?
Thank you.
Page 2, anything there?
There's a page 2.
Oh, Kathy.
I was already on page 2. That's where the phone stuff is.
I mean, if
So
these guys are good with
the
it.
power plan information, do we want it broken up by fund?
Mhm.
Okay, that's easy.
Well, yes, we need it by fund. How would we know how to budget otherwise?
Oh, I don't know. Toss a coin. Why no action? Pardon? You have to go to a training in
So.
Kalkaska.
Yeah, so
we need
hurry
to
up.
Move on. We don't need to talk
Oh.
about cell phones.
Get up and walk out. We should have
This is-
done
Well,
yours
I'm,
first.
I can only be here till 5 o'clock, so
What time is it?
we got 20 minutes for me.
4:45? Okay.
Capital and the vehicles.
You can, I think I answered my question when looking at that. That,
Move new fire truck cost to capital.
we put roughly 100,000 on the truck to get it going. Is that correct? And then when the truck is delivered, we owe them 476,000 on top of that. And in 23, 24, oh, there it is, the 125. That's what we paid them. Okay. And then we still owe them 351,000. So that's where this 0.75 mil will come in. Sharon, does that make sense?
0.75 mil.
0.75, yeah. So that would not give us enough money to pay it off in 1 year. We could pay it off by 25, 26.
I don't know what year we have it projected out.
Roughly. But that's why I'm saying where a note somewhere would say that, look at it again.
Bob's got that whole projection that we talked
And the
about.
truck has a life expectancy, was it 15 years? 20?
25 years.
Ah,
That's what I'm saying, that they say you can, 25-year limit, and then it can't be used as primary car vehicle. Be a secondary, but can't be a primary.
Yep.
Because of that. So,
see how it goes, you don't know.
yeah,
If we're around to look at that, that'd be cool.
that's why we did rotation on this actually a little bit better.
Yep.
Okay, we've got just the one change for the healthcare savings. I've got star here for estimated on the insurance and bonds and so forth. And then as far as all the other little incremental item things here, the only thing I could do is look through what we've got going now, and I have to do some budget amendments. So if we need anything that stand out, then we can make an adjustment. Otherwise, if anyone else is okay with a fire budget presented like this, Everybody have any more questions on the fire?
I have none.
Thanks, guys. Are you staying for the ambulance, Ted? Oops. You'll stay until you have to leave, right?
Or would you rather me pull your fingernail off?
Okay, Kathy, do you have all the pages for ambulance?
I have 2. Is that correct?
Yep, that's correct.
Okay.
Okay. Good deal.
Well, this is where my cell phone question then comes in. Is that we're paying $100 a month for the 2 cell phones, but there's no line unless we are using just the telephone line.
That's it.
Is that what we're using?
That is the line.
Okay,
The cell phones are paid for. We're just paying for the line. That is the line. That is an invoice bill for the line, Kathy.
what I'm saying is, I'd like to see the words cell phone, but all I see is telephone. So the question is, the telephone fees and the cell phone fees are both rolled into telephone charges, correct? We don't have a phone for the
No,
director, I know.
it's a phone.
Okay. So do we agree that that's where the cell phone charges go, under telephone?
Where have you been putting it?
Telephone, because there is no budget for cell
Okay, right,
phones.
that's correct.
Okay. Why not?
We like it. Keep it the same.
I like it to have a word, but.
So you went on to the second page. So we're good with the first page then?
And again, Alan, on this, it's 1.85 and then 0.40 is the
Additional.
additionals. That's
Yeah.
going to help pay for the new ambulance that we borrowed on, so.
Yeah, so I see how how it'll work. Again, it's another one to look at in the future, but ambulance, I don't know what their life expectancy is. Fortunately, our equipment is lightly used, you know.
And as far as, again, some of these small amounts, once we do some budget amendments, if something jumps out at us, we can pay attention to it, so. Anybody have any changes on there?
I defer to the experts.
Okay. I don't have any.
The only thing I was going to say is, I know we're on the ambulance, but as far as the fire department, updates on physicals and all that, was that built in there?
This, in that, yes, and the physical and the testing. Right now, it talks with Dr. Ray and Acton.
Oh,
There's Dr. Grace along with.
Right. right.
Mhm.
And I'm trying to get maybe other departments involved in going there because it's closer. And then maybe we might be able to get a reduction in cost. I talked to him yesterday, I'll be in talks with him tomorrow to say more information what's required for our physicals.
But that's built in already in your fire. So we don't need that for ambulance then, Ted, correct? I mean, we don't need physicals or anything like that. Okay. All right. All right, board, any concerns with this?
Very good. Thank you.
Again, we'll take another set of eyes on it if you want to, because we're going to be having another board meeting on 30th this month to tweak
time is
whatever
that
we
meeting?
have.
What time is that meeting, Sharon?
6:15, I believe.
That one in the afternoon or the evening, yes. 6:15.
It's a 30th, 6:15.
Okay, thank you.
It's a Tuesday.
Yep.
And I suggest looking at it all over again, just to see if anything jumps out. I will be looking at budget amendments too. And I pull the contracts that I do myself, and I think we'll pull the contracts that she needs to do from the clerk side. Update Bob and some stuff. So with that, we've gone through the budgets. Any public comment? Board comment? Alan?
None?
Jason? Kathy?
No,
And I have none. So I
motion.
motion to recommend to, at 4:53, adjourn. Thank you, board.
Second.
Welcome.